I called it well before the movie was even released. Before the trailers even came out, I said this movie was going to be very predictable. It was going to be very formulaic and follow the same pattern as every single other Rocky movie and the other two Creed movies, except with this one, it doesn't have Sylvester Stallone.
So, everything I got is moved on, and I'm here. But you know what? It's okay. Because I said to myself, if I break, if I'm hurt, whatever, I ain't gonna fix it.
And let me tell you that his absence was definitely felt because he was the best part of the previous two films in the Creed trilogy. Now we're just left with Michael B. Jordan,
All that challenge shit is over with. I'm the king now.
who I've said many times is one of the worst actors I've ever seen, at least when it comes to like actors of his popularity. But fortunately, Johnathan Majors joins the cast and he did a fantastic job with the role he was given as Adonis Creed's antagonist. But the issue was the writing. It was pretty mediocre and formulaic, like I said. I mean, the way it basically went, Donnie's on top of the world faced with a new challenge he's so sure he can take on, but he fails, he gets knocked down, suffers a catastrophic loss. He rises up and takes on that challenge again and gets into a fight which also is very formulaic like every other movie. The way it goes is one fighter gains the upper hand, then the other one gains the upper hand, then they go into a montage of them kicking each other's asses back and forth, and then they end up in the 12th or 11th round. I think it was the 12th round in this movie, and they have this epic clash where it just seems like it's too close to call, and then one fighter wins. Where have I seen that before? I mean, they changed some details and changed things around here and there, but overall it still feels like the same predictable movie following the same formulaic plot as all the other films, and all this hype talking about how it's the #1 movie in the world or how it's the best by far of the Creed trilogy. Nah. The only real salvageable part to me of the movie was Damian Anderson, played by Johnathan Majors, and they did a very, very fantastic job trying to build him up in the first half of the film, because he just got out of prison. He did 20 years, I think it was like 20 years or something like that, but you could see how he's trying to cope with the fact that his life was basically taken from him, that he could have gone on to fame and fortune, glory and riches, but instead he was rotting in a cell, and his prime, his boxing prime, was taken from him, and now he's an old man, or at least old in boxing years, and he doesn't know how to cope with it, he doesn't know how to deal with it, and he sees everything that Donnie has, and he slowly becomes jealous. I mean, he doesn't outright say it, but you can tell that all these little things about Donnie's life. Oh my gosh, you have transparent floors, you have this nice house, you have a beautiful wife, you have all this set up, you have a boxing gym, people look up to you, and it's just slowly getting to him. And even though he doesn't say it, you can still see it. But then they fucked up in the second half because they rushed it. Like, you don't really get to see that clicking moment where he just becomes a dick, where he just, you know what, fuck you, Donnie. You don't really see that. He's so thankful and appreciative, and then out of nowhere he just becomes a dick. I don't like the way they did that, but either way, Johnathan Majors did a very good job in portraying this guy who you want to like and you want to cheer for because he lost his entire life, and you just want him to get back on top, and he does a very good job at playing the guy that you really want to hate and you want to see him get his ass kicked. The story also wasn't believable, but I mean, let's be real, none of the Rocky movies are believable. Like, you don't see journeymen, old men in the gym out of nowhere getting a shot at the top fighter, the top pound for pound fighter in the world, beating him or even getting close to that, and then getting rich and fame. Like, that doesn't happen. But all the fighters are in the heavyweight weight class. They're always fighting for the World Heavyweight Championship of the world. The guy that Damian fights, which I think his name is Felix, he looks significantly smaller than Dame. He does not look like he should be in the heavyweight weight class at all. Like, if you look at Dame and he's supposed to be the example of what a heavyweight should look like, Felix looks nothing like that. He looks significantly smaller. And the guy that Donnie's sparring with in order to prepare for Dame and the climax and everything, that's Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford's a welterweight. And if he's not fighting, I guess you could say that he blows up to like 160 something, 170 max. Like, I've never seen what he actually weighs when he's not fighting, but he does not He is not a heavyweight. Even when he's not fighting, he's not a heavyweight. So that made absolutely no sense. And then you see Donnie next to Canelo. Canelo is a super middleweight. And they're just exaggerating the hell out of all these people's weights. I mean, I get it. At one point, the heavyweight division was the pinnacle of boxing. That's where all the best, the most popular fighters fought at. But nowadays, it's not so much that. Like, the lower weight classes have a lot more shine. I mean, that's just the way it is. But I mean, I get it, them trying to return like everything to the former glory days where it was all about the heavyweights. I get that. But you're really gonna tell me that someone that small is a heavyweight? Like, come on. But overall, it's very predictable. I kept thinking this is gonna happen next, this is gonna happen next, and it always went that way. It follows the same formulaic plan as every other film in the Rocky universe, and it's just not believable at all. I mean, I can leave that out of it. I can leave the boxing fan out of me for a second and just not worry about that. But even without that, it's so mediocre. The writing's so mediocre, and then it's led by a guy like Michael B. Jordan, who is not a great actor. Fortunately, they had Johnathan Majors to salvage it a little bit, but even then, like, a thumbs down for me. It was not a good movie. I know a lot of people disagree with me, so if you want to light me up in the comment section, go for it, have at it. But let me know if you agree with me, if you didn't like it, or if you feel like it was also predictable like I did. Please hit that like button. It helps me a lot to push my content out there. Subscribe if you have not already, and I will catch you in the next video. See you then. Bye bye.